No man, I just have to ask you to be mindful of the children.
Oh, don't start going on about that.
No, I'm just letting you know. I'm just asking you to be mindful of that because we had someone last night and we had some parents pick up a right stink.
Oh, did you? Is that why you mentioned it?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, if I do say it, legally, if we're in a shot, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't be out here barefaced with a massive camera doing it.
No, I understand. I'm just giving you
I'm not having to go at you.
We had a right stink last night.
Just started kicking off with it.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
What happened in the end? The police have to come down and everything.
Made him delete the pictures because there were children in it.
What was he doing though? Was he zooming in on the kids or was he?
No, he was taking a general picture. So if I say, for example, there was a kid playing that crane just there, the kid is clearly in the picture because they haven't got the parents' consent to take a picture of the child, like the child to be in the image.
You don't need that though. If you're in public, because for example, if you look at something, in your mind you're memorising it.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. But that's what I'd say to the parent, and they can do one. I could get it if I was zooming in on a kid.
Yeah. No,
say now, I'd just stand to do one.
No, I'm honest. Like, I hate to say that good at all.
It's why I carry a body cam myself. So I've had this issue a lot of times myself. So it's just a bit hysterical, really, nowadays. If you were that way inclined, I think you'd be sat in a basement somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think you come out in broad daylight with a big camera exposing yourself.
Do you know what? You'd be. I mean, this is I've been on this strip for 4 years now, and we have had it.
I'm sure you have, yeah.
You know,
I'm sure it does happen.
It is part of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you had that big sting outside Southend Central a month or so ago, didn't you? Where
I don't know. I'm not
private paedophile hunters.
Yeah, that's all. So the video you just watched there was from Southend on the 18th of February, where I was attending the Illumination Festival. It was on. You've seen what happened, so I don't need to repeat it. And as you've seen, he elaborated that they'd had an incident with a photographer the day before, and some woman had been kicking off because she'd walked out, child happened to be in the photo, and then kicked up a sting from there. I've got to say to these people, you're on camera or from all angles all the time. Probably when you walked around inside the Monte Carlo arcade, you were being filmed from everywhere. But I bet you never once questioned where that data's going, who's behind the camera. But as soon as you visibly see somebody stood behind the camera, I get it, it's like human psychology. You need to see someone stood behind it. But I guarantee if you had a person stood behind every CCTV camera, well, you'd be going around challenging everybody. So you can't be just one way. If you've got a problem with cameras and photography, don't go outside. Okay, because for the time being, it's legally allowed that we can photograph anything from a public space. When I bumped into a photographer from Suffolk the day after, he was telling me a different narrative, that the security guards had said to him that the owner didn't want anyone photographing his building. And I've got to say to whoever that is, tough, you know what I mean, stop being such a tyrant. You're filming us so we can photograph your building. They also showed me a load of documents that Essex Council have been creating to reduce public access and public photography laws. And I have to say, we're not in the days of the old kingdoms of England, you know, like Mercia, Northumberland and Essex and so on, and Wessex. We're still, for the time being, in something of a free country. With, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to change that, but for the time being, we still are. As you can see in some of these photos here, there probably was kids in these photos. I can't do anything about it, and legally, there's nothing stopping me. Because the next step after not being allowed to photograph anything in a public space is reducing people looking, because there's very little difference between somebody visually looking at somebody, memorising it and then walking away, because the camera operates in the same way. So, you know, then we end up in a 1984 style where we can't look at each other, and that's a society some people, the normies, the NPCs, are going to create. As it says there, you've been filmed 24/7. As I hope you're kind of getting at, can grasp what I'm alluding to in this talk, it's not the security guards or the police that really bother me, it's the public, you know. That being said, I have to say, Suffolk, the day after, I was in Sudbury and Clare and Long Melford. I went to photograph the rowing club, for example, and there was some juniors on the river, and I said, I think I'll give it a miss because, you know, it's kids and I can't be doing the hassle. The guy's response to me was, you're in public, you know, it's anything's fair game in public. So it's not everyone, it's just certain areas, big urban areas in particular, I seem to notice. And that's it really. Cheers.